श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम. Friends, we are in the 7th Anuvaka of the 3rd Valli Taittiriya Upanishad. In the previous Anuvaka, almost all the Anuvakas just described how the Vijnana progresses, like Annamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. And Anandamaya, Saisha, Bhargavi, Varuni, Vidya, Parame Vyoman Pratishtita. So with this, the Shashta Anuvaka almost concludes. Now in the Saptama Anuvaka, the Upanishad teaches us Annam Nanindhyat. This is the instruction given by the Upanishad. Annam Nanindhyat Tad Vratam Pranova Annam Shariram Annadam Prane Shariram Pratishthitam Sharire Pranah Pratishtitaha Tadetam Annamanne Pratishthitam Saya Etad Annamanne Pratishthitam Veda Pratitishthati Annavan Annado Bhavati Mahan Bhavati Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchasena Mahan Kirtya. So some of the sentences are repeated from the previous Anuvaka, but Annam Nanindhyat is the teaching. So one should not utter harsh words or repudiate or use such words about Anna which actually belittle the importance of Anna. So we should never belittle the importance of Anna. Annam na nindhyat. Why? Tad vratam. Because not finding fault with Anna, not blaming Anna, not censoring Anna, this is vratam. That means it's like a sacred vow to be practiced lifelong. Because prano va annam, va is nishchayartha. Prano va annam. Because food is nothing but the prana. So therefore, when we are taking in something, so we should understand that we are actually taking one form of prana. So this is the energy that gets into ourselves and that actually that which we use always for all activities. So without prana, this will be only dead body. So therefore, the food is prana. Shariram annadam. Then if it is annam, then what is that which is anna ada? That means that which consumes anna. Annam, that which is consumed. Annada means the eater, the one who takes the food. So food and the eater. Annam, annada. Two things are there. So when prana is the annam, what uses that particular prana? Shariram, this body. So therefore this body is annada, anna ada bhakshane. So this body is the consumer of that energy and that energy is prana. It is annam because the body depends on that. Prane shariram pratishthitam. So it is obvious that when we take different kinds of food, the food enters into the stomach, then hydrochloric and other acids, they all mix up this food, and there is of course within the metabolic process we have anabolic and catabolic, the processes are there, and when the essence is extracted from the food and mixed in the blood, so from other sources the other elements also enter into the blood, like the insulin, like glycogen. So this process is necessary. So this blood, now it is actually invigorated with the essence from the food, and this blood gets to the heart, and from lungs the oxygen is supplied, then it is oxygenated blood, then 15% of the heart capacity goes to the brain. Then we will be able to think, we will be able to concentrate, we will be able to focus, all these. So our main central nervous system activities are based on the blood supply from the heart, and that particular blood is rich with glucose or energy depending on the kind of food we take. So therefore, Shariram, this is the Annada, Prane Shariram Pratishtitam. So this physical body depends on the prana. Without that, this body is useless. We all know that because it is only dead body. It depends on the prana. And that prana comes in various ways, not only food. Food is one source. Food, water, and air. This is also one source of energy. And that is taken. Whatever is taken is anna. So Shariram uses that anna, therefore it is annada. And this Sharira, that means this physical body, depends on the annam, that is prana. And vice versa. Sharire prana pratishtitaha. That pratishtha is dependence. And this pratishtha is location. So Sharire prana pratishtitaha means the vital energy is located in the body. That means outside also it is there. Outside air filled with prana. But even if you fill all this air into your dead body, he will not wake up. What happened? The same prana. I am breathing. So he is not able to breathe. So I pump this air into his lungs. What will happen? But the problem is, it is fixed pattern. So even if we forcibly enter this air into his lungs, the lungs will not function at all. There is no process at all. The oxygenation, etc. Nothing will take place. So this prana is there, but still when it is in the body, then only the body will become active. Tadetad annam anne pratishthitam. So this way, one anna is located in the other anna. Saya etad annam anne pratishthitam veda. So whoever knows this kind of mutual dependence, he pratitishthati, then he is fully established in the ultimate truth. Annavan annado bhavati. He also will get all kinds of anna and he will enjoy this annam. Mahan bhavati. He will become great. Prajaya pashubhir brahmavarchasena. So he'll become great by getting good generations, future generations. That means his prodigy. Then Pashu Sampatti, Brahma Varchasvita. These words were explained earlier. Mahan, Kirtya, and he will become very popular also. Now Shankaracharya explains, Kimcha annena dvarabhutena brahma vijnatam yasmat tasmad gurumiva annam nanindyat. So he says, we should not find fault with anna. Why? Because like Guru, the annam is also a source, a passage to Brahman. That means it is the path to Brahman realization. So without body, we cannot get realization. And the body depends on the food. Therefore, food is also a kind of means to self-realization, Brahman realization. And in this process, just as a guru teaches something and takes us into the Brahman realization, the annam also indirectly helps us get that health and attain the self-realization. That's why in Kumara Sambhava, Kalidasa Mahakavi says, Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam apisvashaktya tapasi pravartase. So Kalidasa uses the word Shariram adhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. That means if at all one wants to practice dharma, then the Sharira, the body, physical body, is the foremost instrument or means to achieve that. That means without physical body, we cannot perform dharma. So whatever may be the kind of dharma, in order to perform that, we require this. Therefore, like a guru should never be insulted, blamed, humiliated, ridiculed. So guru has a high place. Similarly, annam, gurunanda nakarya. Similarly, annaninda nakarya. So, on the same lines, food should never be blamed, abused. So, this is the instruction. Tad asyevam brahmavido vratam upadishyate etadvai vratam. So, whoever wants to realize Brahman should follow this lifelong as a vrata. Vrata is that kind of a practice which is practiced lifelong without any failure. So, not abusing food is the first one. So we find in the life of Gajanan Maharaj that he was actually found in the society just eating from the leftover outside. In a function, people were throwing away the food, and he sat there and he was just collecting the remnants of the food and he was just eating. Then the Gujarati and other, they saw him, they approached him, and they thought he is a Mahatma. So then they requested him to come in. So we find that they didn't have any partiality towards the food, that this is good food, this is bad food. Similarly, Ramana Maharshi also, whatever was offered to him, he used to take. And in the Tiruvannamalai, Seshadri Swami used to take whatever was offered to him. And Karapatra Swami, we know so many saints, they all believed in one thing, that Annam Brahma. And therefore, they never abused Anna. Vratopadeshaha Annastute. So why this Annam is stated as Vratam? Because this is the importance of Anna one should realize in life. Otherwise, life will be miserable. Stuti bhaktvam cha annasya brahma upalabdhi upayatva. Person asks, why this Anna prasanga here, Anna episode? Shankaracharya says, it is to instruct the importance of Anna. Then he says, why do you find Anna as something praiseworthy? Then he says, it is Brahma Upaya. Ultimately, this Annam helps us attain the Brahman. This is exactly what Lord Buddha also experienced. See, he was practicing rigorous penance, renouncing everything, and he remained totally silent, not accepting anything, no food, nothing. But after several days, when he came out of the state, he realized, he said, it's actually in this life, tormenting the body in the name of any austerity or vote, something that may not help me. Instead, I should find a middle path that is that does not fall on either extremity. That means I should not be totally indulged in the worldly affairs, but at the same time, I should not torment my body. So this is the ideology of Buddhism, that for your survival, you take food. And food is essential, because without that, brain does not work. In the Upanishad, there is a story that the student asked the teacher, what is the importance of food? The teacher says, okay, today onwards, you will not be offered any food for 4 days. And after the 4th day, he calls the boy and asks him to repeat the mantras he taught 4 days back. Then the boy looks into the sky blank. He does not remember anything at all and says, sir, what happened? I used to remember everything, but now I don't remember. Then the teacher says, see, this is the Annamaya, the physical body. It survives on the food. So you take that, your brain will get glucose and blood, and you will get all memory, intelligence, everything. But in the case of great saints, this is not the case, because great saints, they do not give utmost importance to the food, and they can remain even without food. That's what happened, exactly happened with Karapatri Swami. So when he was called into the court, summoned, then Karapatri Swami, he actually argued with the British officers also. And somebody asked him, what do you do? He said, I am just a sannyasi, recluse. Then he said, yeah, if you offer me food, I'll consume that much food which I may consume for several months. One day I'll consume everything. But if you don't offer, I will not take food for 6 months also. So this is my yoga, he said. So thus some great saints, they have different control over the body, but generally it is said that through the Annamaya, we start our journey. Prano va annam. So what is annam? Whatever is consumed is annam. Whatever we depend on is annam. Therefore, pranam is annam. Sharirantar bhavat pranasya, because prana that enters the body and it is inside. Therefore, it is like the anna on which the sharira survives. Yadi yad yasya antah pratishtitam bhavati tat tasya annam bhavati. So Shankaracharya explains that whatever other thing, that will be the annam of the latter. So prana is found in the body, so prana is anna to the body. So this is the logic you apply everywhere. Sharire cha pranah pratishtitaha tasmat pranaha annam. So because the prana gets into the body, then functions in different ways like the sensory perception, the speech, everything. So pranam is anna. Shariram, because it uses that prana, that is anna, shariram is annada. Tatha shariram api annam pranaha annadaha. So vice versa is possible. How? Kasmat prane shariram pratishtitam. Because just as the vital breath depends on the body also depends on the vital breath. So there is a mutual dependence. Therefore, this also becomes anna to the body, anna to the vital breath. And body becomes anna to the vital breath becomes anna to the body. Tan nimittatvat sharira sthitehe, because the body survives on this. Tasma tad etadubhayam shariram pranascha annam annadascha. So each one can be stated as anna and annada also. This is a relative term because in relation with the other only this is annam or annada. So there is only mutual exchange of the status. Yena anyonyasya pratishtha tena annadaha. So yena anyonyasmin pratishtitam tena annam. Because that which depends on other is annam, that anyonyasya pratishtha, that is annada. So that which causes, that which provides. See, slight difference is there. One is pratishtita, other is pratishtha. That means one is the substratum, another is the source. So naturally, one consumes the other, then it is annada, the other is annam. But vice versa, when this becomes the annada, the other becomes the anna. So thus, one is the source of energy and other is the locus of the energy, the place of energy. Thus, sharira can also be annam and annada. Tasmat pranashariram chubhayam annam annadam cha. So both become both. Sacha evametad annamanne pratishthitam veda. Thus, whoever knows this relation of these two, pratitishthati annad annad atmanaiva. So he gets established completely in himself like annam and annada. Because I in the universe, I am the annam to the bhuta. But at the same time, when I consume outside thing, that is annam and I am annada. So I take something, I eat something and think that I am eating it. But actually, time consumes everything, it devours everything. So to the time, everything is annam. That's what the Kathopanishad tells us. This mrityuri yasya upasechanam ka adha veda kutra tat. So yasya brahmacha kshatrancha ubhe bhavata odanaha. In the Kathopanishad it says. So it actually brahmana, kshatriya, everything it consumes. That is the Brahman. And the Brahma Sutra, Atta Charachara Grahanat Visheshanacha Prakaranacha. So these two sutras also deal with this particular subject, that this one reality is there that actually provides annam to everything and makes everything annam. Because in the universe, we are all born, but typically we are all the food to be devoured by that supreme energy. So it simply takes in, and whatever takes everything inside is known as kalayati. Therefore, kalaha. Kalaha kalayatam aham. That's what Bhagavad Gita tells us. So ultimately, I am the devourer of everything. I consume, I take in everything. He is the samharta, he is the samharaka. But it is not negative. It is simply devouring in the sense, taking back the manifested nature of everything. So thus telling, Kimcha annavan annado bhavati ityadi puruvat. So everything else is as in the previous anuvaka. Now, Ashtama anuvaka. Now we come to the 8th anuvaka. Annam na parichakshita tadvratam apova annam jyotirannadam apsu jyotif pratishtitam jyotishi apah pratishtitah tadetam annam anne pratishtitam saya etad annam anne pratishtitam veda pratitishthati annavan annado bhavati mahan bhavati prajaya pashubhir brahmavarchasena mahan kirtya. So almost repeated. First thing is annam na parichakshita. This is exactly the same idea. Annam na nindyat. That is one kriya pada, verbal form, and this is different. Parichakshita means one should not abuse food. Annam na parichakshita. And another meaning is also there. Parichakshita. Rarely it is used in the sense of just throwing away. This is also a kind of abuse. So just talking about the quality of food is also bad. Similarly, just throwing away the food is also very bad. Therefore, it is said, annam na parichakshita. One should never throw away or waste food because it is the vratam. Why? Apo va annam. If you see, observe in the society also, apaha, annam. There is a kind of relation between water and fire. Actually, one is electricity and one is radiation. But even in the time of Big Bang, how they have transformed themselves is very, very big secret. See, Upanishad tells us, Atmanaha Akashasambhutaha Akashad Vayuhu. So first there was only space. In order to create something, space is required. Okay. First there was only space. But before space, what was there? Yeah, space is also something created. Time is also created in Vedanta. So therefore, what was before time and space? Atma. What is that Atma? Consciousness. Without any attributes. Because what are the attributes of Atma? Doer, enjoyer. These are the attributes. But when nothing was there, only Atma, so what attributes you can attribute to that, ascribe to the reality? So it is attributeless because before creation, it alone was there. That's what Rigveda also tells us. That's what Chandogya Upanishad tells us. Sadeva somedam agra asid ekameva dvitiyam brahma tadaikshata bahusyam prajayeya. So therefore that alone was there. When it is alone, when time, space, even space-time continuum, everything was a later product. So whatever was later cannot be attributed to the earlier one. So therefore it should be nirgunam. But the problem is, if it is absolutely nirguna, then nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. So all these attributes, all these qualities, all these properties of the universe out of which they have come into existence. If they were not there in the original cause, all of a sudden, how could they appear? But the paradox is like that. In the original cause, they were not there, but later they appeared. This is the fact. Then how to reconcile, how to accommodate these two? For that, our Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vallabhacharya, Nimbarkacharya, all these acharyas made rigorous penance, and finally they made their own theories. But the problem remained the same, that how could you reconcile with the diversity in the absolute Brahman? Because before creation it was absolute. Then Vivartavada of Shankaracharya, that came very close, that all cause and effect relation is apparent. It is not absolute. And modern science also tells us that in the terms of particle physics, nothing can be termed as absolute. And nothing can be termed as saguna. That is the problem. That means form, sound, touch, smell, these are all relative. These have no significance at all. Therefore, they say in particle physics, you cannot use the word real. In this physical world, all these are not real, they say. And when Shankaracharya tells us that they are not real, we say, he's only Hindu thinker. And what do the Western philosophers say, Western scientists say? They use the same word, that there cannot be any real thing in the universe. Then, if everything is unreal, nothing is real, then it will lead to Buddhism, nihilism, Shunyavada. But Upanishads tell us that there was nothing, means there was nothing manifested. But one consciousness should be there, that should be the source of all creation, and that alone is real. That's why Astit Brahmeti Ched Veda Santamenam Tato Viduhu Vise Om Tat Sat Iti Brahmana Nirdesha Trividha Smrutaha Vise in the Bhagavad Gita. So all these texts collaborate and corroborate the theory that Brahman alone is the reality. Therefore, the two things, one is water and other is fire. Apo va annam. Actually, Akasha, Akashad Vayu. Within the space, there was some vibration, Vayu. Vayo Ragnihi. When there was vibration, there was a kind of friction. Then automatically radiation occurred. Then Agne Rapaha. Because Agni, the main constituent is hydrogen. Because that is the main source in the sun also, the solar energy, that is hydrogen. So hydrogen, when it takes the prana, it becomes water. Agni, hydrogen, and taking the prana, it becomes the water. Agne Rapaha, that's what Upanishad tells us. Adbhyaf Prithvi. And when this gradually cools down, and finally some solid material is formed. For it, it has taken almost 600 billion years after the Big Bang, they calculate that. So this way, everything is formed. And in this process, Apaha Annam, the water is the Annam, Jyotihi, the fire is the Annada, because it consumes. And the Jyoti, typically, Apsu Pratishtitam, the fire gets its source from the Agni. Now, if you compare with the H2O, you can appreciate that theory. Water depends on fire. What is that? Fire depends on water. What is this? This is nothing but having two different forms. Like different states of matter are there. Different states. Matter takes different forms. Similarly, here also, the matter, which generally occupies some space and has some volume, etc. So this has two forms. One is water and other is fire. So therefore, these are exactly not two different things. This is what the modern science tells us as unified field theory, where Electromagnetic field, gravitation field, nuclear forces, both strong and weak, they come together and they form into one. That means it is not Visishta Advaita. One means here Kevala Advaita. Even in modern science. That means losing all their distinctions when they become one, it is Kevala Advaita. If they retain their special characteristics, it is Visishta Advaita. So in this particular aspect, we find that when there was only one reality as singularity in modern science also, there was nothing. Therefore, everything was only a kind of projection like that of the magician. All the Upanishads use, Yoga Vasishtha uses, and Shankaracharya also holds his theory on this. So this is like some magic. And almost all the Vedantins, excepting Vallabhacharya, believe in the Maya, Avidya. Though Ramanujacharya has refuted that in Sri Bhashyam, this Avidya is here or there somewhere it is referred to. Because without Avidya, you cannot accommodate so many theories. And this is a kind of accommodating the final theory. Okay. Now, Jyotishi Apav Pratishtitaha, the water is also dependent on the fire. Tad etad annam anne pratishtitam. So this way we should understand how annam depends on annam. Saya etad annam anne pratishtitam veda. So this kind of mutual dependence, if we understand, we really appreciate the design of the universe. In the beginning of the Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad only, in the Shikshavalli, there is an Anuvaka where it is stated, Maha iti tad brahma sa atma. So that Maha Chamasya pravedayate. So Maha Chamasya was the name of a sage, they say. And he actually created a theory that Om Bhu Bhuvaha. Then he said Mahaha should be there. And why Mahaha? Because Om Bhur Bhuvaha, if these are your creation, your revelation or your discovery, beyond that there is some reality that should be called as Maha. Maha iti. Then what is that Maha you are talking about? Then that sage Swamiji said, Tad Brahma. I name the Brahman as Maha. So this is a kind of revelation. So through different angle he is approaching the Brahman and said, if you, this is Panktam also. So if you have already discovered these three, then I tell you that beyond these three there is another reality. Like Newton did not know theory of relativity, but Einstein told beyond that, the physical classical physics, there is theory of relativity. And this way, always there is a scope that beyond the known thing, there is an unknown. And he wanted to name it as Maha. So this way, Veda Pratitishthati, when a person understands the reality, then he is fully established. Annavan Annado Bhavati, Mahan Bhavati Prajaya Pashubhir, Brahma Varchasena Mahan Kirtya. This is Phalashruti. Annamna Parichikshita. One should not waste Anna, give up Anna, and na Pariharet. Shankaracharya uses the word Parichakshita, Pariharet. That means one should not just avoid. Tadvratam. So this way, Shubha Ashubha Kalpanaya Aparihiryamanam Stutam Mahikritam Annam Sya. So this way, when Annam is praised in these words, one can understand the importance of Annam. Mahikritam. That means it is eulogized, it is glorified. Why? Because one should know, understand its importance. So with this idea only, it is repeated. Evam yadhoktam uttareshopi apova annam ityadishu yojet. So this is the way how we should connect other words in the Anuvaka. Annam. What is Annam? Apaha Annam. Otherwise, Jyotihi Annam. What is Annada? If Apaha Annam, Jyotir will be Annada. If Jyotihi Annam, Apaha will be Annada. Ultimately, it is mutual dependence that is there. That is an ingredient, that integral part of the universe, that everything depends on other. Without dependence, nothing survives on this. So even the corona, that which has a protein layer, has to get in and it should take the glycine from the body, eat away the protein, and survive and multiply. Without that, it cannot survive. So because it consumes all this, naturally the person becomes weak and the proteins cannot be separated from his body, glycine especially, which is important, essential for his neurotransmission. So similarly, everything depends on other. The virus or the bacteria that does not know that actually they are consuming. Sir, there is power cut.
Oh, power cut. Okay.
So shall I continue with my explanation, sir?
Okay, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, even if this is not there, at least sound. I'll continue, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in this way, everything is dependent. That's what he wants to say. And depending in what way? We depend on the herbs, the plants. They depend on the sunlight, the water, earth, soil. Animals depend on other carnivorous, ambivorous, herbivorous, different kinds of. But everyone is depending on the other for its survival, whether it is living or non-living. So this way, there is a kind of dependence. It is known as Annam Annada. I am Anna, at the same time I am the Annada. Now in the Navamanuvaka, Annam Bahukurvita, this is the instruction of the 9th Anuvaka. Tad vratam pruthiviva annam akashon nadaha pruthivyam akashah pratishtita. Yeah, I'm sorry, today there is some disturbance, but still we continue, sir.
Yeah, please.
So he says Annam Bahukurvita. So this Bahukurvita, that means one should do it more, in the sense one should try to produce more food is one. And in the olden days, importance was given to the production of crop, etc. Annam Bahukurvita may mean one should highly respect Annam. So this will be the meaning. Tad Vratam, Prithvi, Annam, the entire this planet Earth itself is Annam. And where is it situated? In the space. Therefore, space is the Annada. Because this space is found on the earth, he says, because throughout this earth, in all beings, that space is spread. Akashe Prithvi Pratishtita, And this particular earth is suspended in the air, that is in the space. And as Bhaskaracharya says, it is bahubhihi shaktibhihi dhritaha niyatam akashe tishtati. So the earth, this actually remains in the space being supported by various forces. So that was his understanding, because at that time the gravitational force, that was not in force. That means actually it was not discovered. And generally we believe that Newton discovered, but in many Upanishads and ancient texts we find clear reference to the idea of gravitation. Even in the Vedic mantra we find, Vedic mantra, we have the mention of this gravitation. But the problem is, we always fail in marketing. So we know the manufacture. We manufacture ideas, but we cannot market them. So the problem is with mathematics, because most of the ideas were never expressed in the language of mathematics. They were not put in the convincible language. So naturally, the science part, that is mathematics, was missing. So that idea remained as belonging to philosophy. So if it is not experimentally proved, it is only philosophy. If it is experimentally proved, it is science. But such ideas are found in abundance in our sacred texts. And here in the Akasha, the earth is suspended. Tadetad annam anne pratishtitam. So this way we should understand how there is mutual dependence. And saya etad annam anne pratishtitam veda pratitishthati annavan annado bhavati. All this is in the same manner we should understand that one should first focus on this particular aspect of the universe, that everything depends on the other. This is the important thing. And apsu jyotihi and jyotishi apaha. Anna annada gunatvena upasakasya annasya bahukaranam vratam. So because the upasana vijatiya pratyaya pravaha rahita sajatiya pratyaya samtati. This is what Shankaracharya explains in Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, that it is nothing but homogeneous flow of thoughts, one kind of flow of thoughts. It is upasana. So if we take Hanumad upasana, Balaji upasana, Durga upasana, Lalita upasana, Subramanya upasana, any Kartaviri upasana, any upasana, then mind should always be filled with that, and mind should be totally transformed into the upasya. Then only upasana will give its result. That's why in Andhra we have that Tadepalli Veeraraghava Shastri, so who was well known for his Bala Tripura Sundari upasana. So this is the greatness of upasana that our seers had given to us. And when a person does the upasana of Anna, then he should follow this as the vratam. Then he will get all the benefits like Annam Annado Bhavati, Mahan Bhavati, Prajaya, Pashubhi, Brahmavarchasena, Mahan Kirtya. So all whatever is enumerated here, all benefits you will get. And with this, now we come to the 10th Anuvaka, in which Nakanchana Vasatau Pratya Chakshita. These are like a kind of commandments. These are the Vedic commands that if you want to tread on the path of spiritual life, if you want to take spiritual life, then you follow all these. Why? Because without mental purity, we cannot expect Brahma realization. That's what Kathopanishad tells us. Ki nashantaha nasamahitaha nashanta manaso vapi prajnaya enamapnuyat. So just understanding is not sufficient. By understanding, we cannot expect the Brahman realization. So therefore they say that you should have all kinds of discipline. And that's why many such vidya, almost 32 vidya are there in the Upanishads. Some people say 47, but Ramanujacharya and others have merged and found the final number 32 vidyas, like Daharakasha Vidya, Madhu Vidya, Shandilya Vidya, Chakshur Aditya Vidya. All these are the vidya. Vidya means upasana, and upasana means that which is essential for the jiva to come out of the clutches of Prakriti and raise himself into the higher consciousness. It's not easy. It's not easy, but not difficult or impossible. So the upasana is prescribed for that. People sometimes ask, if everything is Brahman, why should we practice upasana? Why should we do upasana? It says, Chittaik Agram Upasana. Shankaracharya explains that upasana gives us concentration, mental focusedness. And that focusedness is very essential for Brahman realization. That's why Brahma Sutra in the last chapter tells us, Yatra ekagrata tatra avisheshat. Wherever you find that kind of mental calmness, you sit and meditate. That's all. Asina sambhavat. Even while sitting only, you should practice meditation, because that is possible in that sitting posture, not standing. But there are several saints standing also, they do meditation. They are there. That is vratam for them. So here it says, Nakanchana vasato prachacha kshita tad vratam tasmat yaya kayacha vidhaya bhakvannam prapniyat. This is in continuation with the previous anuvaka. That what did he say there? Annam bahukur vita. How? Yaya kayachidapi vidhaya. That means you devise your own method, but get more food and respect it. Bhakvannam prapniyat aradhyasma annamittya chakshate etadvai mukato annagum radham mukato asma annagum radhyate etadvai madhyato annagum radham madhyato asma annagum radhyate etadva antato annagum radham antato asma annagum radhyate ya evam veda. So till this one continuity. So now he says, na kanchana vasatau pratya chakshita. That means when somebody comes, some guest comes for shelter, we should offer that. This is also one of the vrata. So it says, when somebody seeks shelter, we should never reject. One should never send him back. Vasatau na pratya chakshita, na kanchana, anybody. So we should offer shelter. This is one kind of vrata. Tad vratam tasmat yaya kaya cha vidhaya bhakvannam prapnuyat. This is the instruction that you devise your own method, follow your own method, but get more food for yourself, for others also. Because there are two things. One is sustaining, but other is helping in the society. Because kevaladi bhavati kevalaghi, says the Upanishad. One who eats alone is eating his sin alone. That means he is actually eating his sin. So only when the food is shared with others, it produces merit. It leads to higher births. And therefore, it says, Aradhi asma annamitya chakshate. So when somebody comes as a guest to the house, the householder should receive him, and offering shelter, he should say, yes, I have annam prepared for you. This is the way of welcoming the guest. Nowadays, very difficult. And similarly, etad vai mukhato annagum radham. So this way, the householder should utter the words and welcome him, respect him. There are such different steps. Purvataha, madhyataha, antataha. So this way. Ya evam veda. So this one should understand the importance of atithya. So that's why there also matru devo bhava, pitru devo bhava, acharya devo bhava. And after that immediately comes atithi devo bhava. We should consider or treat our guest as our Bhagwan. So that was the tradition in the olden days. We remember the story of Mudgala Maharshi in the Mahabharata, who had the Vratam, Mudgala Maharshi Vratam, that he used to collect grains from the paddy fields for 15 days and used to cook food once in 15 days. And after preparing the food, he used to wait for the guests. And whoever comes, first he serves food to him. Then if something remains, then himself, his wife and son, they will eat that. This is the vratam. Uncha vrata, Shila vrata. So on this he used to survive. And one day, one mendicant came to him, and to see he was very ugly, untidy. But he said, I am very hungry, offer me food. And to Mudgala Maharshi, it was a great day. Aaj Soniyacha din, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says like that, it was a golden day. And he immediately invites and offers the food he has. Generally, all the other mendicants leave some food for this family. But that particular mendicant eats away everything. Then Mudgala Maharshi says, no problem. Now, please bless us. And he leaves, and these people just drink water and survive. This happens almost 6 times. And the last time when the mendicant comes and eats away everything and looks at Mudgala Maharshi says, in what way I can serve you? Then the mendicant says, see, are you not angry with me? Because I have been eating away your food? He says, no, not at all. I'm very happy. I find myself very fortunate that I'm in a position to offer you the food. Then he says, I am Durvasa Maharshi, and only to test you I have come here. So please ask some boon. Shall I give you the Swargalokam, this, that, etc. Then Mudgala Maharshi says, actually, what are the virtues there? And I find all these glories or glorified pleasures, all that, nothing before dharma. And I want to practice dharma. And this birth, next birth also, I want to practice dharma. If you want to give a boon, give this boon. Not swargam, etc. Na swargam, na apunar bhavam. So this is my vow. So that kind of sacred Hindu life was there. And the saints lived that life. Then they just did not preach it, but they practiced, such great souls. And here he says, Kshema iti vachi, yoga kshema iti pranapanayoh, karmeti hastayoh, gatiriti padayoh, vimuktiriti payo, iti manushi samajna. These are only human nomenclature. Adha daivihi, the divine nomenclature. Triptiriti vrushtau, balamiti vidyuti, Yasha iti pashushu, Jyotiriti nakshatreshu, Prajatiramritamananda ityupasthe, Sarvamitya kashe, Tat pratishtetyupasita, Pratishthavan bhavati, Tan maha ityupasita, Mahan bhavati, Tan manayupasita, Tan amayupasita, Smai kamaha, Tad brahmeti upasita, Brahmavan bhavati, Tad brahmanah parimara ityupasita, Paryenam mriyante dvishanta sapatnaha, Pari ye apriya bhratrivyaha, Sa yaschayam purushe, Yascha asau aditye, Sa ekaha. With this, the 10th Anuvaka mantra, the original, concludes, ends here. But Shankaracharya, he explains now. This is Tadha Prithivyaakasha. So once shelter is provided, Ashanam Datavyam, then food also should be provided. Otherwise, a guest just staying in the house, and for food, if he goes to the hotel, that is the problem. Avashyam hi ashanam datam, tasmat yaya kayachidapi vidhaya, yena kenacha prakarena bahuvannam prapniya. So for this only, that means only to feed the guests, one should procure, one should get more food. प्राप्नुयात् bahvanna sangraham kuryat. So one should get more food. Ityarthaha. Yasmad andavanto vidvamso abhyagataya annarthine आराधि संसिद्धिम अस्मै अन्नमित्याचक्षते न नास्तीति प्रत्याख्यानं कुर्वन्ति. So the real knowers of reality, not scholars. Scholars is a low word for them. They are beyond scholars. They are great people. So what do? They never say there is no food in my house. Nasti annam iti na vadanti, na pratyakhanam kurvanti. So this is their vow. And asma annamityachakshate. So always food is ready. These words come from their mouth, like Tarigonda Vengamamba or other great mother in Andhra. So all these great souls, they wanted always to feed people. They went on feeding. Tasmacha hetor bahvannam prapniyat. Iti purvena sambandha. So this way, this sentence should be connected with the previous, that one should get more food. Apicha अन्नदानस्य माहात्म्यं उच्यते यथा यत्कालं प्रयच्छति अन्नं तथा तत्कालमेव प्रत्युपनमते कथमिति तदेतदाह. So the result of this annadanam means feeding others, is instant. That's what the Upanishad says. You feed others, you get the result immediately. What? Etadva annam mukhato mukhye prathame vayasi mukhya va vritya पूजा पुरस्सरम अभ्यागताय अन्नार्थिने राद्धम संसिद्धम प्रयच्छति इति वाक्यशेषः. So mukha word is used in two senses. One is mouth and other is face. Asyam mukham. So the complete face is also mukham, or only the mouth is also mukham. So in another, it is chief principle, that is also mukha, like mukhya. Mukhe bhavam mukhyam. So whatever is important, that is mukhya. Thus, in the prathama vayasi, that means in the first phase of life, when somebody comes, mukhya vritya puja purassaram abhyagataya arthine radham. So one should respect the guest, and with all this honor, he should offer food, saying, food is ready for you. Radham samsiddham prayachati iti vakyasesha. So thus one should offer food to his guest. Tasya kim phalam? Mukhatah purve vayasi mukhya va vritya va asmai annadaya annam radhyate yadha dattam upatishthate. So in this way, without any second thought, without any deception, when one offers food to the guests, then yadha dattam upadishthate. Whatever he offers will get back. Evam madhyataha, this way in his middle age, antataha, in the last phase of his life. That means prathame, madhye, antataha. That means throughout life, whatever you give, you will get it back. So in the case of food also, this accrues. Tatha antato ante vayasi. So in this way, jaganyena cha upacharena paribhavena tathaiva asme radhyate samsiddhyati annam. So this is the way how one should practice the Anna Vrata. We know about Kedarishwara Vrata, Varalakshmi Vrata, Mangala Gauri Vrata, Satyanarayana Vrata, but this is the Anna Vrata. That means offering food to the guests. Ya evam veda saeva annasya edhoktam mahatmyam veda. So one whosoever realizes the importance of annam this way, tad danasya cha phalam, and understands the result of the dana, tasya tadho yadhoktam phalam upa namate. So he will get that back, that particular result. That means he will also get all anna. Idanim brahmanaha upasana prakara uchyate. And now the topic takes a turn and says, now this is kshema iti. So from this vachi, so these words now speak about the upasana of Brahma. So now the topic is Brahma upasana. Kshema iti vachi. Kshema nama upatta parilakshanam. What is kshema? Upattasya parilakshanam. That means whatever we have obtained, if we are able to preserve that, protect that, that is kshema. And we don't have something and we are trying to get it, it is yoga. Yoga, kshema. Yoga means getting something which is not obtained here too. And kshema is protecting something which is already obtained. Here, kshemaha, then brahma vachi, kshema vachi, kshema rupane pratishtham iti upasyam. That means the speech is yoga and kshema. The Brahma is established or posited in the Vani in the form of kshema and yoga, yoga kshema. So this way the upasana should be performed. Yoga kshema iti yogaha anupaptasya upadanam. What is yoga? Getting something which is not already obtained. Tauhi yoga kshemo pranapanayohu sator bhavato yadyapi tadhapi. Actually, as long as there are prana and apana in the body, the yoga kshema are possible. Without pranapana, how can we expect these two, this yoga kshema? Tadhapi, but na pranapana nimittaveva. Actually, this yoga kshema, getting something and preserving that, these actually do not depend entirely on pranapana, but they depend on the source, that is Brahma. Kim tarhi? Brahma nimittau. So, whatever we get in this life, that is because of the Brahman. Whatever we have for some time, it is also because of the Brahman. And thus, everything is rooted in the Brahman. So, with this idea only, it is stated that the Brahman is the source of everything. Brahma pratishtha. Yogakshema is also pratishtha. Brahma Sutra tells us phalamata upapatteh. So Brahma is the energy that gives the fruit to everybody according to their deeds. Then yasmat brahma yogakshemaatmana pranapanayoh pratishthatam iti upasyam. So this way the Brahman should be worshipped as being situated or established in yogakshema, and for that in pranapana also. So yogakshema, pranapana and Brahma. That ultimate Brahma is to be worshipped as found in the pranapana and yogakshema. So if this particular link is found, then Brahmopasana will be fruitful. Evam uttareshu anyeshu tena tena atmana brahmaiva upasyam. So in this manner, in all the other also, like karma iti hastayoho, these two hands, they are given to us to perform something. Who has given? Brahma. So this way upasana should be done. Similarly, when it comes to the legs, gati, movement. So for movement, legs are given. Who has given? That Brahman energy. So this upasana. So everywhere, this way, the payu means the excretory organ. So when something is put inside, this is the yajna, and yajna, agni is there in the stomach. When the food is totally burnt into energy, then the remaining part of that which is otherwise useless is thrown out. There is a particular passage for that, and it is also the Brahman creation. So therefore everywhere the payu, the Brahma should be remembered and worshipped. And in the upastha means the genital organs, generally created for two purposes. One is excretion and other is the sexual enjoyment. So for these two purposes also, one should remember that they are created for that purpose by the Brahman. Vayu, upastha, hasta, pada, vachi. That means all the karmendriya, jnanendriya, these are all the product of Brahman. This should be the upasana. Pratishthitamiti upasyam. These are manushi samjnaha. The original text tells us that these are all human nomenclature, human names given to these. That means Brahman assumes these and gets the human names. And Daivi name also. The same Brahman has divine names. What are they? He gives. One, Adha Daivihi, Triptiriti Vrushtau. So when the Brahman takes the form of rain, it is Tripti. We should we should understand and worship the Brahman as Trupti in the Vrishti, because by raining, he supplies energy to all the crops, all that, and all the herbs, they live on that. So this is Trupti. And Balamiti Vidyuti, and he is in the form of energy in the lightning. And Yasha iti Pashushu, in the olden days, whoever had more animals like cows, etc., he used to get more fame. So therefore, Yasha iti Pashushu, Jyoti riti Nakshatreshu. So this energy is present in all the luminaries in the sky. So all stars, planets, everything is this Brahman energy. This is the Advaita understanding. Thus, Sarvamityakashe Prajati Amrutam Ananda iti Upasthe. So when it comes to the genital organ, we should remember, oh, the Brahman has given this particular organ only for my procreation, continuity of my Vamsha, dynasty, to Amritam, Anandaha. So this is the continuity and this is the bliss. So that much we should understand. And Sarvam, and when it comes to Akasha, the Brahman should be worshipped as Sarvam. So this is the Brahmopasana. Tat Pratishtha Ityupasita. That means the Brahman is the source, substratum of everything. This should be the Upasana. Karmano Brahma Nirvatyatvad Hastayoho Karmatmana Brahma Pratishthitamiti Upasyam. When it comes to hand, one should understand, oh, through karma, I worship Brahma. So that's why the Brahman is situated in the hands. Gatiriti Padayoho Vimuktiriti Payo Ityeta Manushihi Manushya Samjnaha Adhyatmikaha Samajnaha. So this is the way of understanding the Brahman in all these human organs. Vijnanani Upasanani. So these are actually understandings. But understanding should not be momentous. That means in this moment I have realized and I forget that. There is no use. So if this particular understanding is kept lifelong, it becomes upasana. That means whatever is realized is kept in the heart lifelong. This is upasana. Adha anantaram daivihi. What are the divine? They are, of course, the deveshu bhavaha samajnaha, truptiriti vrushtau. So all these. And so this way the mantra continues, and we stop here today. And the Daivi Samajna we will see in the next class. So thank you all. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.